Welcome to the second part of the Easyzip video. As you can see, I've now stitched my little bit of fancy embroidery, and I'm going to take this out so that you can see the back of the embroidery. We're going to try and cover that up with some lining. Quick spritz with some temporary spray, and I've got two pieces of folded fabric, one for the top and one for the bottom part. I'm going to position those so that they're just over halfway between those lines. You don't want it too close to the zip or the lining will get trapped in the teeth. I've just left a few millimetres each side. This isn't rocket science, but there we go. Back into the machine, and one more thing to do before we stitch the next colours. The next thing we need is our zip. The zip has to be longer than the space so that all the metal bits are out of the way, and it has to be made of nylon. Metal teeth and sewing machine needles do not go together. Now this gap here, this little channel that we've formed, is where the zip fits, and you pop it in so that the zip tape goes right up to where the fabric's stitched down. It'll be a fairly tight fit, but it will fit, unless you've got a super width zip, of course. That goes in like that. And the next two colours will stitch it down. It doesn't have to be two colours really, but I've put a stop in it so that you can be confident before you do both. You just do one at a time. So here goes the first one. And that's just a line parallel to the previous one that sewed this fabric down. Because I've got some decorative embroidery, I don't want a fancy stitch there. I think it spoils it. So there's the second row going in. There we are. There's a very, very, very important thing to do next. Open the zip to the halfway point. If you don't, you'll end up sewing across here and the zip pull will be trapped over this side and it will make your purse useless. If we take that out again, we'll see that the lining has been stitched down quite neatly, well out of the way of the zip teeth. It goes back into the machine again. Not necessary to take it out at that point, but it might be a good idea to make sure that your lining has behaved. Now, next to last thing, a piece of fabric to form the back of the purse goes on the top of all of this, with the right side facing the right side of the bit that's in the hoop. And this next colour will stitch all the way round. Ah, my needle's come unthreaded. Sorry about that, you didn't really need to watch me thread a needle. I still find that's quicker than using the automatic needle threader, by the way. It's going to stitch all the way around. We kept all the metal bits of the zip well out of the way, so we have nothing to worry about. There we go, all the way around. Now the very last thing, one last piece of lining. Goes on to the other side. A couple of tiny spritzes of spray, and the lining piece goes over the top so that the right side of the lining faces the right side of the lining that's already in the hoop. Give that a little smooth out, pop it back in the machine and stitch the very last colour. we'll go all the way around again, just leaving a little gap at the bottom. Little gap will be there. There we are, all done. So now what we have to do is take it out of the hoop and cut it out about 1/2 centimetre away from the edge stitching. I'll do that and then I'll give you part 3, which will show you how to finish it off.